Some crimes are so puzzling they refuse to be solved. A killer who sends coded letters to police. A family that vanishes without a trace on Christmas Eve. Decades or even generations later, we still have no answers. Welcome to Nano Atlas, and today we're exploring 7 unsolved cold cases that continue to baffle. These are real stories. No wild speculation, just the facts and lingering mysteries. Maybe you'll be the one to catch something everyone else missed. Our first case begins in 1968, Northern California, with a shadowy figure who called himself Zodiac. In the late 1960s, a serial killer terrorized the Bay Area, targeting young couples at lovers' lanes. He came to be known as the Zodiac Killer, and to this day his identity remains unknown. The Zodiac taunted police with cryptic letters, some of which were sent to newspapers. One cipher, mailed in 1969, was solved by citizens and read, "I like killing people because it is so much fun." A chilling message that gave a glimpse into the killer's mind. The Zodiac's confirmed victim count is 5, but he claimed to have killed 37. Investigators had suspects. One well-known name is Arthur Lee Allen, but no suspect was ever definitively linked by evidence. DNA analysis in the 2000s of saliva on the stamps didn't match Allen or others. In 2021, a volunteer cold case group claimed to have a new suspect, but law enforcement has not verified those claims. OutLierKit.com. The case remains open in several jurisdictions. With each cipher decoded and each suspect tested, the Zodiac Killer continues to puzzle the world, leaving us to wonder if this case will ever be closed. November 24, 1971. A man using the name D.B Cooper hijacks Northwest Orient Flight 305 from Portland to Seattle. He's calm, mid-40s, wearing a suit, nothing unusual at first. Then he hands a note to the flight attendant. He has a bomb in his briefcase. Cooper demands $200,000 in cash and parachutes. In Seattle, authorities meet his demands and he releases the passengers. He orders the plane to take off again, heading toward Mexico City at low altitude. Somewhere over the dense forests of the Pacific Northwest, D.B Cooper parachutes out of the rear of the 727 and into legend. Despite a massive search, Cooper was never found. For years, the FBI investigated dozens of suspects. Bits of the ransom money were found in 1980, decaying on a riverbank of the Columbia River, suggesting that Cooper might not have survived. But no body or parachute was ever recovered. The FBI officially suspended the active investigation in 2016 after 45 years. D.B Cooper's heist remains the only unsolved air piracy case in U.S. history. A fascinating cold case with endless theories, but no definitive answers. We have a kidnapping. Hurry, please. Those were the words JonBenet Ramsey's mother, Patsy, told 911 on December 26, 1996. JonBenet was a 6-year-old girl, a child beauty pageant star in Boulder, Colorado. That morning, her parents found a bizarre handwritten ransom note on the stairs, demanding $118,000. Tragically, a few hours later, JonBenet's father discovered her body in the basement of their own home. She had been struck on the head and strangled. This case became a media sensation. Police initially suspected the parents due to the strange circumstances. That long ransom note written with paper from inside the house, for one. Others pointed to an unknown intruder. Over the years, DNA evidence from JonBenet's clothing did not match any family members, and the family was officially cleared in 2008. Yet no killer has been charged. The investigation has seen multiple grand juries, false confessions, one in 2006 from a man who turned out to have fabricated his story, and endless public speculation. It's been 29 years, and while new forensic testing is periodically announced, including plans to use modern genealogy DNA techniques, JonBenet's murder remains unsolved. It stands as one of the most haunting cold cases in America. The question of who killed this little girl is still unanswered. On May 3, 2007, a family vacation in Portugal took a nightmarish turn. 3-year-old Madeleine McCann was sleeping in a holiday apartment in Praia da Luz, while her parents dined at a nearby restaurant. When her mother checked on her around 10 p.m., Madeleine was gone, the bed empty, the window open. The search that ensued became one of the largest and most publicized missing person cases in history. Despite massive media coverage, private investigators, and involvement of police from Portugal and the UK, Madeleine was not found. Various leads emerged. Witnesses reported a man carrying a child that night, and sketches were released. Madeleine's parents themselves were at one point given suspect status by Portuguese police, but that was later dropped. Over the years, there have been sightings of children resembling her in dozens of countries, but none confirmed. In 2020, German authorities announced a suspect, a German man jailed for other crimes, and said they believe Madeleine is likely deceased. However, as of now, no body has been discovered and no charges have been filed in her case. Madeleine's fate remains unknown. The case illustrates the challenges of an international investigation and stands as a heartbreaking cold case. Her family still holds out hope that if alive, she would be a teenager today. Until definitive evidence is found. When we talk about people vanishing without a trace, this case often tops the list. In Springfield, Missouri, June 7, 1992, two fresh high school graduates, Susie Streeter and Stacy McCall, had just attended graduation parties. In the early hours, they went to Susie's house to spend the night, where Susie's mother, Cheryl Levitt, was at home. By the next morning, all three women had vanished. When friends arrived that day, they found an eerie scene. The family car and the teens' cars were at the house. Personal belongings like purses and keys were inside, and the family dog was upset. But no sign of Susie, Stacy, or Cheryl. The only clue was a shattered porch light. Over the years, various theories have swirled. Maybe an intruder abducted them in the pre-dawn hours. Maybe the girls were lured out and met with foul play. There were a few potential suspects, one being a local man imprisoned for other abductions, but nothing concrete. One of the few leads was a strange answering machine message that was accidentally erased. It might have been a tip or a ransom call, but we'll never know. Despite hundreds of tips and even digging up a parking garage in 2007 to probe a theory they were buried beneath, the case is still open. The community never forgets the Springfield Three. It's as if they were plucked off the face of the earth. To this day, no remains have been found and no arrests made. It's an enduring mystery what happened in that quiet suburban home after the graduation celebrations ended. On Christmas Eve 1945, a fire destroyed the Sodder family home in Fayetteville, West Virginia. George and Jenny Sodder escaped with 4 of their children, but 5 of their kids were never seen again. The tragedy took a baffling turn when the blaze subsided. There were no human remains in the ashes. Authorities assumed the children's bodies had been completely cremated in the intense fire, but experts questioned that. Even a house fire typically leaves bones. The Sodders noticed odd details. The Christmas lights had stayed on during the early part of the fire, strange for an electrical fire origin. The phone line to the house was found cut, not burned. A woman claimed to have seen the missing kids peering from a passing car during the fire. The Sodders became convinced their children had been kidnapped in the chaos of the fire. They put up a billboard on Route 16 with the children's pictures, keeping the case in the public eye for decades. There were alleged sightings of the children in the years that followed. And in 1968, the Sodders received a photograph of a young man in the mail, which they believed might be their grown-up son Louis. The letter was postmarked Kentucky with no return address. Each clue, however, led to dead ends. The local police and fire department closed the case, believing the children died in the fire. But the Sodder family and many who've studied it feel something much more unusual occurred. Over 75 years later, it remains an open question. Did the 5 Sodder children perish in that fire, or were they taken? Without physical evidence, this cold case fuels endless speculation and is a staple in unsolved mystery lore. Often dubbed America's Dyatlov Pass, this case involves 5 men from Yuba City, California, aged 24-32, all with mild intellectual or psychiatric conditions, who disappeared together on February 24, 1978. The men, Bill Sterling, Jack Madruga, Ted Wire, Jack Hewitt, and Gary Mathias, went to a college basketball game and never came home. Months later in the spring thaw, 4 of their bodies were discovered in remote Plumas National Forest, but one, Gary Mathias, was never found. The circumstances were bizarre. Jack Madruga's car was found stuck on a remote mountain road, far off their route home with nothing mechanically wrong and enough gas. It was as if they willingly went into the wilderness. Inside a Forest Service trailer 20 miles from the car, Ted Wyer's body was found curled up in bunk bed sheets. He had died of starvation and exposure, 8 to 13 weeks after they disappeared. Even though that trailer had food and propane heat available, it was as if they didn't fully use the shelter they found. The other 3 were found dead in the woods, scattered, having succumbed to the elements. Why did these men, some in light clothing, head up a snowy mountain road at night? Witnesses later reported seeing or hearing what might have been them in a pickup truck that same night. And another witness, an elderly man, claims he saw or heard people near that trailer where Wyer was found. But the accounts are conflicting. Gary Mathias remains missing. If alive today, he'd be in his 70s. Theories range from foul play, they witnessed something they shouldn't have, to a simple wrong turn that became a fatal ordeal. But it doesn't add up. Each had something to lose by running off into the cold. They were looking forward to a Special Olympics basketball game themselves the next day. The Yuba County Sheriff called it bizarre as hell. Indeed, the Yuba County 5 mystery endures as one of the strangest cold cases in American history. 7 cases, dozens of lives impacted, 0 answers so far. These cold cases remain open, awaiting that one tip or piece of evidence that could break them. History shows that even decades-old mysteries can be solved with new technology or someone's sudden recollection, so there's always hope. If you found yourself intrigued or perplexed by these cases, subscribe to the channel, hit notification bell, and be ready for more picture-only explainers on mysteries, cold cases, and curiosities every week. We'll keep shining a light on the unsolved, the unusual, and the unexplained. And maybe, just maybe, help keep these cases alive until they're finally resolved. Drop a comment. Which case do you hope gets solved in our lifetime? Thank you for watching, and remember to stay curious.